Welcome to another insightful episode of Me and My Health Up. I'm your host, Anthony Harcher, a clinical nutritionist and lifestyle medicine specialist. And today I've got another two exciting guests. So I've got Rico Caveglia, and Rico is the author of Ageless Living Lifestyle. It's an incredible book on how you can live healthily and feel younger for longer and be full of vitality. So we're going to discuss Rico's book with him today. And I've also got my intern, Raul Haro. So as I introduced Raul in the previous episode, Raul's with me for a period of time, and he is in the Navy as well. And he's studying and wants to get into health administration. So he's a medic in the Navy. So welcome, guys. How are you today?
Great. Thanks for having us.
I'm doing great, Anthony. Beautiful day.
Awesome. Yeah, it is. Fantastic day. And I know you're both on the west coast of America. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego.
Yes, sir. And I'm a little north in the Pacific Northwest.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it's in the afternoon for these guys of our yesterday, or if you're in Australia, the yesterday. Yeah, so let's get into the ageless living lifestyle. So, Rico, can you please let us know in a brief way what the ageless living lifestyle is all about?
Okay. Well, the ageless living lifestyle is a complete mind, body, and spiritual wellness system that I've been developing and teaching and living for over about 25 years. And the way I came up to develop it was way back in 1982, a friend of mine and I, we opened up what I think was the very first modern personal training studio here in San Diego. And so I just began to learn all about fitness, and then we started learning about nutrition and all things, how to take care of your body and how to get yourself healthy and fit and energetic. And then 1 year later, my father died of lung cancer. But, he was a young street kid, grew up in the Depression. He smoked for like 60 years, and all of a sudden it just got him, and he just died. So, as you know, way back in the early days, people, they didn't know how bad smoking was for you, right? So they didn't have the right information, and actually smoking for 60 years, it killed him. So that's the same thing today. There's still so many people that don't really understand, all the toxicity in the foods and in the water and drugs and all these things that are causing all these illnesses. So that's when I decided to dedicate myself to learn and discover all the best ways to take care of yourself, so we can, live a much healthier, energetic, long life.
And you mentioned this mind, body, spirit, holistic approach. You want to explain that a bit better in terms of what is it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, as you know, holistic means looking at the body as a whole. We're not just a mechanical, physical body here. We also have a spiritual component and emotional components. So, as you know, like a naturopathic doctor will really try to understand what's going on mentally and emotionally in your life, as well as all the environmental, issues that are, as well as, what you're doing and what you're eating and how you're living your lives. Where mainstream medicine, allopathic medicine, looks more at you as a mechanical being and just say, well, this is what's going on. And so they're not so much worried about the cause. They're just trying to give you something that will help you alleviate your symptoms, but they don't really address the true cause. And where the spiritual aspect comes in, being a fitness trainer all these years, just wonder why there's so many people struggle with sticking with a healthy diet or an exercise program. And so what I finally realized, I think a lot of people have a disconnect between their physical self and their spiritual self. And they're actually one and the same. And so I think most people believe in some form of a hereafter or spiritual, creator of the universe. And so when you realize that we are all here with a purpose, we're here with a divine purpose. And so when you realize that we're not just this isolated physical body that's going to be here for a few years and that's it, but we're actually here, we're actually spiritual beings, and that we're here I say we have a purpose. When you begin to discover what your real purpose is on earth, how to use your particular abilities and talents to serve other people and make it a better world, then you realize that your physical body is really a gift and that you need your physical body to be as healthy and as energetic as possible so you can fulfill your purpose. So I think when you add that component in, that's going to hopefully to inspire and motivate more people to actually take better care of their health.
Yeah, because in your book, you mentioned this intangible health area, which is that, as you mentioned, your purpose, your beliefs, and you're saying how important, and just as important as having a healthy physical body, is that you really want to have, I guess, a purpose in life and have a belief system that supports your well-being. So you want to just talk a bit more around this purpose and this belief, because when the study was done on the blue zones, what they found that was common amongst these blue zone people, that, the centenarians that live greater than 100, or I guess a bulk of the population that lives greater than 100 years, what they found is that in common they had this purpose. So please share a bit more about this purpose that you talk about in your book.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if you just take, somehow we got into this rush society, right? That everybody's so stressed out that we got to accomplish all these physical things and all this, and we get so attached to the material things in our world that we kind of lose sight of what our life's actually about. So I think if we just learn to slow down a little bit, take a little bit more time, and really see, what am I doing? So many people are really not really very happy or very satisfied with their life. They're just kind of going through the motions, and they get kind of caught up into the day-to-day thing that they think they have to do. And pretty soon your life just goes by. And that's why, we're in such a worldwide situation, of poor health, and we're still, fighting and killing each other. We're still living so under expectation of what's possible, how we could be living. So I think it's so important to slow down and realize that we all do. We have a purpose. What is the purpose of your life? What are you trying to accomplish? How can you make your life better and make other people's life better? So when you begin to work on your purpose, then again, when you're excited because you know what your purpose is, then every day you get up and you're excited about your life. You want to get out there and do what you can do, so that makes you realize that, well, hey, I need a healthy body in order to go out and enjoy my life and make a difference in the world. So I think it's such a key component of any kind of a wellness program is to first, slow down and realize, really what my life's about and what really is important in my life and what do I really want to accomplish.
And Rao, this grabbed your attention, this whole thing around purpose, because what you discovered when you read the book was that Rico was 53 years of age when he discovered the purpose or his purpose, and his purpose is he's now living and he's loving and he loves what he does. And so this really stood out to you, Rao. Tell us a little bit about, why it grabbed you. Is it something that you're looking for?
For me, Anthony?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So when I saw that, it just kind of made me think like what made it take that long for you to really gain that purpose? And if you could turn back time, Rico, when you were 18, what would you tell yourself about life and purpose?
You know what? I actually wrote an ebook on that. I'll send a copy of it to you. I wrote an ebook on that.
Oh,
you know how Anthony, I'm sure you'll go agree with this, at least in America anyway. You talk to anybody in their 40s or older, and they will all agree, and they'll say, like, they've always said, like, gosh, I wish I knew what I know now when I was 18. Everybody says that, right? So I got that idea. Okay, well, how about if we lay out in a book some of the key things that you really need to know and understand and work on when you're 18. And so when you're 40s, you won't have to say, gosh, I wish I'd have known that when I was 18. So I actually wrote an ebook on that. So I'll send you a copy of that. Again, I think that is the number one thing, was to really begin to realize what your purpose is here, and that you are important, and that everybody's important, and everybody has something unique and really beneficial to offer. And it's really, I think, one of our purposes is to discover how we can serve other people and make it a better world for everybody else. So that's number one. And do you want to go through some of those other ideas?
Absolutely. Please share, Rico.
And of course, you know what it is? It's mostly all the things that we should have learned in grade school, but we weren't taught, And of course, the first one is how to respect and take better care of your physical body, how to take care of it, and how to learn what our body's needs are. How important it is to eat healthy food, how important it is to get to sleep, how important it is to exercise. So that's a really big thing. And of course, there's also the financial aspect. If you realize that it's so, everybody knows that when you start making money, you should put away like 10% and save your money and invest it and all that. But hardly anybody does. And I did it off and on, and I didn't do it nearly as well as I should either. So that's another one. So I'm trying to think of all the different ones. And then also how to communicate with people. That's the biggest problem we have worldwide. It's why we have so much conflicts and wars, because we don't really listen to anybody else and respect other people's points of view and cultures, and just learn how to get along. So learn how to communicate, how to build relationships with people. And that's so important, Anthony. I mean, all these things are just basic stuff that we should have learned when we were little kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's mostly, how to take care of your physical body, how to build relationships, how to learn how to take care of yourself financially, and how to find your purpose, and how to live responsible. And then also just to get educated. Well, here's the other thing was too. I think one of the other big points was, don't just go along with the normal social narrative and the way things are going, because obviously we can see it's not going so well. We need to look at it, that we're still having all these conflicts. We're fighting and killing each other. Why are we doing that? It's just think about it. Younger people can just all of a sudden say, hey, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to live in the past. So what if some other country that's supposedly an enemy of my country, and they used to fight and not get along? Why do I have to keep doing that, right? So it's up to you, younger people, to not go along with all the stupid stuff that's going on in the world. And you can change that and just wake up right now and say, hey, let's just get along, and we can make it a better, prosperous world for everybody. I think that's the biggest one right there, too. What do you think, Raul?
No, I think that's great. So it kind of sounds like, I guess a follow-up question to that would be, so the main reason you think society really hasn't taken on the ageless living lifestyle is because, we're not really educated from early childhood in grade school, elementary, high school, college, etc.
Exactly right. The main things that we really need, to live a really productive and a healthy and an energetic and a joyful life, we aren't taught. So it's up to us to get the message out and to get educated, and then also to realize, that especially in America, with our capitalistic system, it's just everything's based on the money, and we're not producing product, we're not producing food, we're not producing medical care that really is valuable for the individual, but it's how much money the corporation can make. So you have to begin to wake up to all these systems, and we have a dysfunctional government, all these things and because when you follow the money trail, it ends up just about the bottom line, how much money can we make, and we're not really that much concerned about people's individual lives. So again, all these things are so important for younger people to realize, hey, we're not going to keep living this way. We're going to make it a much better, equitable, fair world for everybody. And then we can all have a really enjoyable, amazing. Think how amazing the world would be if there was no more wars, everybody was cooperating with everybody else, sharing the wealth of the world, and every human being on this planet should have a decent standard of living. And then think about all the amazing creativity that we're losing. I mean, all human beings are creative, amazingly creative individuals. Everybody's got a lot of creativity in them. But the masses of people on this planet only are in the survival mode, right? They haven't got the chance to even be creative. And yet, look at all the things that we've created. But think about if the masses of people had a decent standard of living and had the time to use their creativity, it's almost, we can't even imagine how cool the world could be.
Right.
Think about that.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That kind of remind me after reading your Ageless Living Guide, how you were saying that, when people think of someone living 100+ years, they think of someone kind of, old, brutal, like really can't do things for themselves. But
Exactly.
but you're saying, at 79, people are missing. I mean, now I think the average living is 79, but we're really missing out on 50 years of life. And that's remind me of like 50 years of creativity and experience that all these people have.
That's exactly right. So that's the main reason that I say, some people say, well, why should I want to live to be 100? Well, because as we age, we should be gaining knowledge and wisdom. And so we need more people as they age to use their knowledge and wisdom, first of all, to be mentors to younger people, and then also to help solve all these monumental challenges that we're having, as humanity is having now in the world, So we need more people to stay healthy so they can also contribute to solve all these problems. But again, I'm so glad you're here, and it's so great to hear what you're saying, and so you can be one of our leaders and one of the people that can get out there and really help to make a difference.
No, definitely. Because, I'm only 25, and after reading your guide, I'm thinking, man, I got to start making the little decisions now for health and nutrition, because sometimes, I love the typical American diet, pizza, burgers, beer, all that stuff. And, sometimes it made me think, I got to be a little more cautious with those decisions. Not saying that I can't have those things, but maybe not as often as I do now. So I did appreciate that section because, I was like, man, I guess it really opened up my mind. Like, man, I really could live till 120, 125 years old. And I never thought about that.
You definitely will, especially if you get into living some of the concepts like I teach and start thinking, you got to make health your number one priority in your life, because if you don't have good health or you don't have a lot of energy, how successful can you be in anything else in your life that's important to you? So always think about, first is really take time to think about what's really truly important in my life, what I want to accomplish in my life, and then you'll see, then you'll see that you need a healthy, strong, energetic body in order to accomplish those things, and then also to be able to stick around to enjoy what you accomplish, right?
Oh, definitely.
So here's the thing: just look at most older people, and nowadays, people think they're old when they're 50, right? People are already out of shape and they barely move around 50s, 60s, 70s. You don't want to end up like that. You don't want to have to be like that. So don't buy into that's just the way it is. So many people just have bought into that. Well, that's just the way it is. We're all going to get old and sick and maybe end up in a nursing home. What is that? That is not the way we should be living. So don't buy into that and realize, hey, it starts with your mindset. So change your mindset. I'm going to be healthy and energetic and strong all of my life. I'm going to live another 100 years. I'm going to accomplish some great things. You can do this. You can do it, Rahul. And also not only do it yourself, but spread the message so more people will wake up and they can do that.
Oh, definitely. By you saying that, it makes me, excited because, I have a 1-year-old son, but I can't imagine, when I'm older seeing his kids and their kids, and you can see generations of your family growing. So I think
we should. Yeah, we should. Again, you should live. We now know that our genetic potential is to at least to stay healthy to 125, and actually probably longer as we progress along. But we have to realize, it's basically our lifestyle that's making people old and sick, dying way too young. So we got a lot of things to get a handle on. We got to get a handle on the pollution around the world and creating all these things that are polluting our environment. But we're moving in that direction again, and lots of younger people are really understanding all these things, and a lot more progressive people are getting in governments, and so we're moving in the right direction. It's just how fast can we do that? It just takes more people like yourself to really understand that, get educated, and make the commitment to live in that kind of way and live in like what I call the Ageless Living Lifestyle, and things will happen pretty quick. It can be a amazing world coming up in the future.
From what you have seen from the COVID-19 pandemic, do you think that has benefited the ageless living lifestyle? Like, do you think you've seen more people be more healthy, nutritional and be more active? Like for me, gyms were closed, so I started to do open water swimming and I started to do more trail running and things. Have you seen more of that, like from the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, I definitely have, but also it's a good point you made is hopefully that's one of the good things that'll come out of this, that people have to realize, hey, we better take better care of your health, because the majority of people who really had severe symptoms or even died was because they had a compromised immune system already. They weren't very healthy already. So now you see that these kind of things are always going to be around, maybe more in the future. Who knows? So it's so important to take really good care of your health. So hopefully that's one thing. And then the other real on the global scale is when we have a pandemic, that's good, because then we realize that we're all in this together and we're all just one. There's only one race, the human race, right? And we're all in this together. We all live on the same planet, and it touched everybody, no matter where you live or what your ethnic group or your financial group is in. So hopefully that'll get the idea too, that we're all just human beings here and we need to cooperate and help each other. So yeah, I think the pandemic has actually been really beneficial, and it's something that kind of had to come because we're still so far off course. As you know, we're still having wars. We have all this financial inequity. So there's so many things that we need to change course. And the pandemic is just one of the things that helps to push us onto that course, onto a new, better course.
So, Rico, with COVID-19 and how it's affected people's health in various ways, and, I've noticed some people really jump on the health bandwagon because they haven't had work or other concerns, and health's been a focal point simply because there's a virus that's, going around, and people want to be able to best defend themselves through good health. How come? And I don't know, through your experience or through your research, why don't people continue? Like, how come health is such a stop-start venture? It's not a continuous momentum, because in your book, it's certainly all about living healthy day in, day out for a lifetime. And I'm just wondering if you come across any research as to why people sort of start, stop, and why they don't continuously live in this healthy way.
So anytime you set a goal, you have to say, okay, ask yourself, why am I doing this? And first, it's good to have somebody to ask you those questions, but you can ask it to yourself, and you'll come up with some superficial, like, oh, maybe so I can fit in my clothes better. Okay, well, why do you want to fit in your clothes better? Well, maybe I'll be more attractive and people will like me more. Well, why is that important? Well, then maybe I'll be able to make more money. Well, why is that important? And if you keep drilling down, maybe it usually comes down to something to do with your family. When it gets down to it, well, I want to be a better role model for my family. I want to support my family better. So if you drill down and really get down to what's really important in your life, then that's your goals. So your goal would be, I want to be a good role model, say, for my children, okay? And so then losing weight, it's just a tool that you use to achieve your real goal. So that's what it is. And see, we haven't been taught that. Again, we should have been taught this when we were kids, in order how to set your goals that really are important so you can actually achieve them. So that's why people just start an exercise program, but they're just doing it because they think they should, or maybe so they'll lose weight. And that's not sustainable, And they go on all these fad diets. That's not sustainable either. So again, you have to realize, first of all, you need to know what's really important in my life. Why am I here? What's my purpose, as we mentioned? What do I want to accomplish? What am I supposed to be doing here? What am I really, what's some obligations I have, And then when you're clear on that, then your life decisions and it will be much easier for you, because you know what path that you want to be on. And then you'll realize, again, as we mentioned before, that whatever it is, you need a healthy, strong, energetic body to achieve those goals. And then also, if you do achieve your goals, you want to be around longer and live so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love it. I love this 7 whys. As kids, you're constantly asking why, and that's to deepen the level of understanding. And we lose that as we become adults. We think we know, and we know it all, but we need to be always seeing ourselves as on this constant learning journey, because we don't know it all. I just love how, by asking those 7 whys, you associate with that goal with that strong underlying important value to you. So you're driving that linkage between that goal, and it's becoming so much more important because it's aligned to a value system. And we spoke earlier about belief systems and purpose. So yeah, really, I think that's a great tip, Rico. So thanks for sharing. Raul, have you got anything to say in relation to that and your experience around your health journey?
It's something we were kind of talking about earlier, and it just like I was telling Rico, like it just really, his guide is just really fascinating because it just opened up my mind to think like, wow, I can really see generations of my family grow and and enjoy all these things and the fruits of labor like he was talking about. So it just really opened up my mind. So I wish more people would take this on, and I hope they do hear this and read this guide, because I think it's just fascinating.
And so a lot of what you've shared, Rico, has been truly inspirational today. I'm just thinking there's people out there that think, yeah, I'm inspired. I love hearing Rico share his knowledge and his experience, and it makes a lot of sense. But in the back of some people's mind, maybe, well, how do I get started? It's such a hard thing to get started. So what do you recommend to people in terms of making that start? How do you get started?
Well, thank you for asking, but let me just say first, exactly that's right. If you think it's hard, then you're already putting restraints on yourself, right? So it's a mindset. We got to be aware of what we're saying in our words. So if you already just want to say it's hard, then you're already making it hard for you. You could just as easily say, well, this is not so hard. I can do that. So we have to always be aware of what we're saying, And so just stick with positive. Then say, I can do this. This is not going to be that difficult. And so, I would say the best way to get started then is just, you can go to my website, agelessliving.lifestyle.com, and maybe pick up a copy. You can get a hard copy, or you can get an ebook for $15. I think it's probably what Raul has, and begin to get some of these concepts and ideas, and just begin to start working on it. You don't have to do everything at once. But again, it's basically into 3 different sections. There's what I call the clear strategy. That's the mental, emotional, spiritual component that we talked about. And then there's the care strategy, is how really to get educated, how to best take care of your mind and your body. And then there's the can strategy, which stands for choosing to take action now. So then we give you some ideas of how to get yourself organized and have a plan and schedule things so you'll actually will do it. So but you don't have to, you just got to begin to work your way through each section and begin to work on it and realize it's a lifetime process. It's not something that you are going to do in 1 month. So it's not that difficult. Here's the thing. We all have a lifestyle, right? But you got to ask yourself, is my lifestyle really serving me? Am I energetic? Am I healthy? Am I happy? Am I living my purpose? Am I excited? Am I making a difference? If not, well, then you can change your lifestyle to make it better. And we're all creatures of habit, are we not? Everything we do is habits. We all have habits, but a lot of our habits don't serve us very well. So just take the time to think, okay, what habits am I doing that aren't serving me? And why don't I just create a new habit that will serve me better? It's pretty simple, really. But again, I think we just got caught up into this busy, complex world that we created, and it's not that difficult. You got to slow down and just realize, simplify your life, and just reboot yourself like a computer. Let's have a reboot.
Absolutely. Yeah. Keep it simple. I love your tips. It's really around that. If you're not happy, make a change. That's how you'll improve your health. So make that change and keep it simple. And as you constantly keep saying, is stop and start thinking as opposed to just doing and keep doing and be unhappy with that cycle. So actually stop, think about what you want, and then start. And as you also said, it's that constant work in progress. It's not something you start and stop and expect the results to continue. You need to keep working on your health. And this leads me to a question for you, Rico, is you're 79 and you've got this fitness age of 35. So already I can hear the listeners are really envious about this. And it's incredible that you've been able to maintain such an elevated level of fitness, yet the years just keep ticking by. So I'd love to hear what your daily ritual is. Please share.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say you don't have to be as fit as I am, or you don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to do triathlons. You don't have to do all these things. You just got to. The first thing I always tell all my clients is you need to match your fitness level with your lifestyle. If you're just happy so you feel pretty good, you can maybe walk around, do a little walk or play with your grandkids or something like that. That's fine. If you want to climb mountains and ride bikes for 50 miles, then you got to get in better shape. But it's not important. You just need to develop a certain fitness level that suits your own particular lifestyle. And for me, of course, like I say, I've been a personal trainer for 40 years, so I've been working with people, so I've been exercising and doing all sorts of things all these years. So it's pretty simple, easy for me. I do things, now I don't work out really hard like I used to do. I do much shorter bouts of exercise. I do ocean swimming. I ride my bike. I do hiking. I still do, what I teach mostly is called functional fitness. It's doing exercises with just your own body weight. It's not that you don't need to, some machines and weights in the gym are beneficial, but particularly as we age, we want to do things that are going to improve our posture and our balance and our able to move better, things that will help us function in our daily life. So I don't usually hardly use any equipment anymore with my clients, because most people need to increase their flexibility and their posture and their breathing, and so those sort of things. And like yoga, I do some yoga type things. So it's just like cross training. You want to do all kinds of different things, but again, you don't have to do anything so intensely. You don't have to beat yourself up. You just got to do things on a consistent basis. Every day I do some type of thing some breathing exercise or some sort of aerobic type thing. Every day I'll do, not every day, but I'll do maybe 2 or 3 times a week, some type of strengthening, even just like push-ups or squats or some basic abs, some plank or something like that. And then every day you have to stretch though. That's the most important thing. A true measure of your age is how good is your posture and how well can you move. That's the true measure of your age. So every day you need to do a stretching routine. I have a 15-minute, there's 7 different basic stretches that I teach. That if you just get down on the floor before you go to bed at night and do these 7 basic stretches, it takes 15 minutes. Plus it'll help you to relax and sleep better. You can stay flexible and have plenty of good mobility all of your life. I just hate to see, you see so many older people, how they walk around, they're all stooped over and they're just shuffling their feet. The vast majority of that is they just allowed it to happen. If you don't, it's move it or lose it. No question about it. So if you don't use your connective tissue and your muscles, they're going to just shorten up. They're going to tighten up. I'm pretty sure after a while, pretty soon, that's all you can do. You just locked into that position, but you don't have to let that happen. So that's the most important thing. Is to stretch every day. Make sure you get in plenty of oxygen, and you're moving your body and doing some movement throughout the day. Don't sit too much. You got to get up and move, and don't sit around too much.
Fantastic tips. And Raul, you got anything to add there?
No, nothing there, Anthony.
Yeah, I love the point around consistency, because I think that's where people just think they arrive at healthy weight or whatever, and then they can just let go of everything they've done to get themselves there, and hence they go backwards. And I really love that point, Rico, is just being very consistent, and you are on a regular basis. You're doing your strength and conditioning, you're doing your stretching, you're feeding your body, you're fueling your body well, you're doing your breathing exercises, your mindfulness. So you embody this lifestyle that's really, reaping its benefits. You live, I guess you live the talk, which is fantastic. Rico, how do people best connect with you? Because I'm sure there's some engaged listeners out there that want to know more, want to get some of these ebooks that you've mentioned. How can they best connect with you?
Very much. Well, yeah, you can go to my main website, which is, again, agelessliving.lifestyle.com. And there, too, you can find, I offer a free consultation to anybody, a phone consultation, so you can actually get a hold of me, and we can have a consultation there, and then you can go through it, look at all of what I have to offer there, and you might want to get a copy of my book. If I may add, it might be helpful for your listeners, is that I just created a new fitness system. It's called the Fast Fit 17 Fitness System, and it's a whole system where you only have to do 17 minutes of intense exercise 2 times per week, and you can get in really pretty good shape. So I made it because as you know, Anthony, the biggest excuse for not exercising is, I'm too busy, I don't have time. Well, now everybody's got 17 minutes 2 times per week. And so you can't have that excuse anymore. So I'd highly recommend, and we're only selling this product just to get people to do it for $17. So if you go to fastfit17.com, you can pick up that system, and you can start doing exercises on a regular basis, and it only takes you 17 minutes 2 times a week.
Fantastic. Yeah, so a great way to start out too. If you're looking for somewhere to start and not sure, head on to Rico's Fast Fit 17, and that will be a good way to get started. Any concluding words or wisdom you'd like to impart on the Me and My Health Up listeners, Rico?
Yeah, there's a lot as we've been going to. Well, here's the thing. Back on that big thing about the big whys, the why. So if people ask, well, why should I try and get so much fitter, or why should I want to undertake a ageless living lifestyle, or why would I want to live to be 100? Well, the reason is, and Raul and I were talking about that, is because, as we mentioned before, I think we're all here with a purpose. And think about this: as we age, we gain wisdom and we gain knowledge, right? And so I think it's kind of our obligation to try and stay healthy and energetic and live as long as we can, so we can give back that knowledge and wisdom to the younger people. And then also, as everybody knows, we as humanity are facing monumental challenges these days. And so we need more people as they age to be able to contribute, use their wisdom and knowledge. How can we solve these really monumental challenges that we have? So that's why we need you to get healthier and take better care of yourself, because we need you. We need everybody to step up and do their part.
Absolutely, totally agree. And thanks for listening, Me and My Health Up listeners. Thanks to Raul, and thanks Rico for your parting wisdom. And stay tuned for more insightful episodes of Me and My Health Up.